Hello, welcome in this new video. I have prepared some very interesting subjects for you to talk about. For a quick go to the right chapter, you can use the chapter descriptions in the description of this video, or use this very interesting bar that YouTube has to go to the right one. I will start with reflecting on my last video. I'll tell you a bit about what I have showed you in there. So if you like that, you can go back to that video. Then I'm going into the editor scripting, what I personally use for my making my workflows more optimized. Stop repeating the same stuff over and over again. That will be the majority of this video, and on the end I will show you my son's game project. I do also a few editor helper stuff for him, so I think that's also an interesting peek on well, how you could use editor things. And then I will close off the video. So let's start with the previous video. So the previous video I talked a lot about stuff. I think for 1 hour straight about all kinds of things. It was mostly about how do I decide on what kind of work do you pick up. If you are like a game design, you want to create a game, you have all this stuff to work on. There's so much, and that sometimes your head can explode about all the things you have to work on. So how do I personally structure my work and then decide on, well, this and this is going to work on today, and that's tomorrow, or this is just the thing I'm going to work on. Well, that I told in my previous video. I'm trying to put a link somewhere up here, so you can go to that video. I also did go into how I work with 2D assets and how I built, with these 2D assets in my 2D scenes, built up my stuff. My game is mostly 3D. Find the Gnome is mostly a 3D game, but I do a lot of 2D stuff in it also. One major thing I showed off is how I integrate my work into my game and then create a game build from it with Azure DevOps. So that's all in this previous video. So let's continue with the majority of what I want to talk about today. Editor helpers, editor scripts. I don't know the official how do you talk about this? So let me just show what I mean. I'm going to prepare one of my screens. Let's take this scene right here and let me switch over to this screen. Okay, so here you see just a typical 3D scene of my work, and I have a lot of things here that I have to repeat. So then I want to adjust my Unity editor so I can do this stuff more easily with just one button, or with just 2 or 3 buttons, and not have to do the same thing again and again. So one of the first things is a simple one. Okay, let's say I have so I have this trash bag here. So this trash bag has no mechanics. Let's start the game. I can show you that there are no there is nothing with this. Oh, let me turn down volume a bit. So, but if I wanted to add something to this, well, then I have to just find all my scripts here, and what kind of scripts? I have to look at another thing. Okay, how did I do this on this one? Okay, let's see. Oh, no, not here. And then I had this. Oh yeah, how to use a box collider or a collider of some forms to register my click, and then I have a more like component-based system, so I have a lot of different scripts I have to combine, and then they have to find each other. It's really easy to use like this component-based system with scripts, but it gets hard if you don't use some kind of scripts that often. You often forget. Okay, how did I have to combine these scripts? It's a bit problematic. So what I have done is just added a window, and I'm going to show you how I created this. So it's a window, and I can use this like all other windows. So let me see. I can here. Yeah. So this window here is something that you can create yourself, and like I showed you, you can go to window, and then it's over here, and you can see this one is added. So how did I create this window? Well, okay, let's switch over to my editor. It's this one. So I just looked up on the internet on how do I create windows like this, because I'm also a person that just, well, I can't remember all the stuff, but I know it's possible. So then I'm going to look for it, just do some keywords on my search engine of choice, in this case Google, and then I most of the time end up on a YouTube video that shows me how to do this. And then I use it, and then from there on I can just, well, I know in my project, you have used this before, and then I can just use it again in other projects. So this one is very simple. It's like this here. Okay, yeah. So it's about adding this attribute, and then adding this line, and the work will be done in this function. And I decided to create a separate function because that's just how I like to do stuff. This function here has the responsibility of knowing, okay, you selected this object, and then if it's selected and things are right for just one item selected, do this. So you could do like multi-select things, but I made it simple for myself, so I have just one thing to worry about. So in here I decided to, as you can see, use a drop-down. So in this drop-down I can decide on different things I want to show here, but that isn't necessary. I just decided to do this. I could only just show the buttons, and that drop-down makes it I have to use a switch, but if you don't want to use it, you could just have done like only this part to just show stuff. So yeah, so this is just like I just have a button. I have just a button here and here and here, and then I just do stuff. So bush, well, I could make it a bush or a thing. Well, this is just like if I do this, I could like add this orange bush. Oh yeah, so orange bush. But I don't want to add the orange bush. Oh man, my I haven't properly wired it up, so I can't use my Ctrl-Z to rewind this. So yeah, you have to do things. I haven't completely figured out how to do this yet. So what I currently have is I could update this thing with a script I have. Is I want it to do. I want it to be a hiding spot with a tween on click. So then I just press this button and then it just says, okay, well, for this I have to add an audio source, sphere collider, animator, all kinds of things for this object. And oh, I shall have this entry point for my gnomes. Is this at the right height? Yeah, it's at the right height. So then they're gonna enter. So and now it's what? How do I want this tween? Well, I do use 2 or 3 tweens to do like all the animations. It's just otherwise it'll be a lot of work to animate all objects the same. So I create a structure to very easily, well, just wire up 1 or 2 things and then it looks like magic. Okay, so I want it wiggle, not blob, but wiggle. I think that's more interesting. So wiggle. So now this thing, yeah, I think it's going to work now. So if I start it right now, so it has mechanics and stuff. So how do I create this? Let's return to the editor. It's like this. I have here I use the button hiding spot with tween on click, and then I use the wiggle. So it's all a repeating of the same thing. And I have created this function ensure and set properties. It's just like a wrapper, and you could write this out manually, but I have just well, made a function for it. Just very easy. It's a bit like a bit of a few guards to make sure that if there are some things that aren't properly set up, it still works. So let's get back. My kids are running around the house. I didn't know if you could hear the bell ringing, but yeah. So, well, it's just like this. It says, well, you have to make sure this audio source script is on the object, and then set this properties. And if some properties aren't there, I have this like created this helper, static helper that just gets the first database object for type of audio mixer from a specific name. I've added a few helper scripts to well, to do a few basic things for me. So and this is just all kinds of these things, and it's very important to then at the end set the object dirty. So let's return. So it's like these 2 functions are first called, and yeah, like I said, it's a bit the same as, again, the same mechanics in adding objects, making sure the properties are right, and then setting it dirty. So that's how I use editor helpers for well, easily wiring up of things. I can very easily extend this by, well, I just look at, okay, I need this script on this. I just add another button, and in code I just add, okay, then you need to add these things like you have just created once and then look at it, okay, so I had to add this and this, and then I like, well, if you have like this this tween wiggle, it's like you have to drag it over in this for in my instance to over here and say, well, you have to put it there. The script will help to do especially things like that, do it very easily, so you don't have to do it manually, or in things like here that you have to, oh, this is a broken one. If you have to find something and wire it up, that's something that's very easily to do it by script, much more easily than by hand, and not mess up with the ones you had to select. So this was one major thing for me to do that made it much more easy to populate my levels. So that's how I do the window things. Another thing I have to do is did I just forget about my window being like here in the top in the bottom bottom left and had something behind it? I don't hope so. Okay, but let's go to the next section, and that's well, let's move on to okay, so in here you can see my this is just a structure of me. So here are like the levels, and then in the levels I have these folders, and there is stuff in these folders. So this is a data script, this is a scriptable object, and this is the scene. So this object is very much related to this object. You can see it here, over here in the scene name. This is how these two are like bind together. I use the this level data script to find data about my to define the data about my levels. And from if I reference a level, I reference this level data script, and I don't reference the scene by name. The only reference I have to this scene is by this one. So if I want to add a new script, I have to press this button, and then this button will make sure things wire up. Well, this script is a very complex one, so I'm going to an easier one first. So I also have the same thing about a bit of the same thing on two other objects I have. I have areas in my level, and I have gnomes. So these three are areas, and this one is a gnome. And as you can see in my game, this is an area, this is an area, and this. And the game can unlock the areas. You can unlock the areas here, and this is a starting area, and I think this is area 2 and this 3. So those are things I need to know for some mechanics to understand and to wire them together. So that's why I needed some scriptable objects to be able to define these things. And so they need also identification, and I don't want to rely on the Unity unique ID, on unique IDs. I want to have to manual control over them if I want to, well, shuffle some things around. So I have like this field here that needs some uniqueness, a uniqueness amongst all levels. It didn't technically have to be that way. It could be like for only this level, but I decided uniqueness amongst all levels. So how does this script work that generates this uniqueness? Well, it's not on the scriptable object itself, but this is on the editor script. Well, let me there is my editor script in an editor folder, and here I say it's a custom editor, and then on UI inspector is where the magic will happen, and with draw default inspector, then this part will be drawn, and then with this line, then this button will be drawn. So this button, if you click this button, it will do a very simple script. I made it more complicated because I just like making things complicated now, because this is more generic to use, because this is essentially this just I could just copy this over here. Where did I put it? Okay, so here this could also be like written like this. So get idea is just deepened idea as my target idea. Yeah. So this is like my target idea. Okay, asset of type, area data. And what did you do? I think I messed up something. Well, doesn't matter. It's a replacement of like the same code. That's what I want to say. So then it's just for me, I have like these IDs all over the place, and that's why I use this simple system with delegates. These are delegates that will execute an action on the item you put into it. In this case, the target will be put into it, and then you can use these things to, well, do stuff. So that's just an easy way for me to make it so that you can very easily push this button and then update this number. I can demonstrate it. You can make it 0, and then it's, well, and then it's 19. But I know it was 10. So okay, so this is like another editor script that helps me with the stuff. Okay, so let's move on to another editor script that I use. It's more about structuring stuff. So I told you already that my levels are like, well, maybe I should make this a bit larger. So I have this structure of things, and you can see there's like a pretty much defined structure here. And I want to talk about how I structure the content in here in these levels. Well, let's use the same example again of level 4.2. So as you can see here, as you can see here, the assets have very specific names. Level 4.2 space area space 1 dot asset, or level 4.2 dot space gnome 1 asset, and here the name of the level itself. So these aren't a coincidence. I enforce this, but there are more things that I need to do that I want to have to be done for my levels to like work together with everything. If I want to create a new level and have to do this, all these things manually by hand, there's a lot of work. So what I have created is a script to automate a few things. What this script will going to do for me is the following. Well, ensure the names are all like consistent. Wire up, like I said earlier, these objects with the scene names, so it's all properly aligned. Here in the build settings, I make sure it gets added into the scene builds. the scenes in the build, so I know for sure it's going to be added. So I can use it in the editor to switch scenes to, because if you don't have it, it's just going to don't like it. This one is already in here, but I can just remove it and show you it will get in there again. So, remove. And now it added it again below. So now I'm going to show you how I did this. Oh, and I have like a lot of other things. Like I have this scriptable object here. It's called this scriptable object here. That's called level sequence, and I have like all my level data and other data elements in here, so I can find them. This one also gets the item gets added to it. So a lot of, like I said, I just almost forgot about the level sequence item even existing, because that's I never have to get into this one again. It miraculously works now, since I only have to push that button on my on this this update data button, and then all things are magically wired up. So what is this magic? Let me move over to this editor. So this editor, it has like the same structure with the custom editor, and then on the UI inspector, again the default draw default inspector, and then the dankjewel. So my wife just brought me a nice cup of coffee, so thank you. So where was I? On the oh yeah, so then I have just this update data one that will do the actual work. Again, verify object uniqueness and just some finding of an object, so to easily wire it up. And this magic object, this one is doing like all the heavy loading in probably a lot of my game. I just created a whole static class for it to put all these like things in it, because it's a lot of things that have to be done, and I don't want it to mess up like this left data editor thing, because it's like one class has to have one purpose, and I thought, well, the purpose of like this all hooking up things is just too much. So well, it tells here already what's happening, but let's see. So there are a lot of things here. First of all, wire level data. That's the script that's over here, and that one will do the honors of adding the finding the scene name, adding it to the script, to the data of the script item, a scriptable object item, and then this is like the few options on finding the name and making sure that I use a good one, with all like scenarios that are like, if something isn't right, that it's not going to break, the script is not going to break. And then ensure scene is in editor build settings is like a helper that I wrote that just like what it said. It's going to iterate the scenes and trying to add it if it's not in there. Then the next thing it's going to do is it's going to find this add this level object, this level data thing to this this level sequence thing I have that that knows that all the items that are all the levels that are available in the game. On why do I do it at editor time, at like build time and not at runtime? Well, I personally don't know. I have an issue finding possibilities in Unity to search at runtime, because I found that a lot of the editor stuff that makes you a lot of the editor code, you can only use it at like editor time. If you create a runtime build from it, you can't use it, and you can't access a lot of the database asset database search things. So I just, well, my idea currently is that Unity doesn't allow you to do things at runtime. I also personally think it's better to know what you're going to build, so no magic. So if I have it working at my build time, I can be assured that it's also wired properly at runtime, because these builds are like a bit different. So it isn't that much of a problem if I use like these scripts with these editor scripts to wire up things hard on editor time, because, well, then it's just like solid. So that's why, yeah, I wire it up. Yeah, and the third thing is I enforce asset names. This is just like some scripting things I thought out myself. If you find it interesting, I can share it, but it's a bit too... I'm going into a bit too much in detail already, so going into more detail on the naming thing, it was hard to create. Let's put it that way. But if you want me to share this script, I can share it with you. And from there on, I do the same with this part was on like the level, on the level data, and this part is on like the area and the gnomes. So this is like the area. This is like the level data, and these are like the areas and the gnomes that it then looks for, and it uses the idea that this level script is in a certain folder, in the in this case level 4.2 folder, and I want all the assets in this folder or in folders below it, and that's what I use for a searching, to make sure that I get only things that are related to this level. So that's a lot about how I personally do my editor scripts. Not all scripts have to be this complex. Like I showed you with the object window. Well, sometimes it's just disappearing. I don't know why. I think I know why it's disappearing. It's because it builds a new one every time your DLL gets rebuilt, and then it uncouples it and then couples it again. So that's a bit problematic, but well, it really adds some speed to my flow, so I don't mind if it disappears. But not all scripts have to be as complex as this window one, or like the wiring up of these things. But if you start using these, they get more complex over time in like the areas that you are really benefiting from scripts like that, and that's not a problem. I think that's a a proper trade-off between speed on level design and having maintenance of like these scripts that get a bit like hard-coded. But well, I personally think it's yeah, this is where it's okay if you have some maintenance or some code depth there, because it's a very important part of the workflow is to generate more content with certain speed. And that's why a lot of game studios have tool designers just to facilitate all the other people to become more fast in the delivery of their assets and the things they can contribute to the games. Yeah, tools can really help be all the people to be more efficient with their time. So that's really worth it. So let me switch to another one, because my son Roan also has a very nice game, and there I have created also a lot of I created a few things for him. I'm starting up Unity right now. This was like the Unity opening project, waiting like ages. Let's take a sip of my coffee. Just freshly brewed, a bit hot. Okay, so busy for 23 seconds, yeah. He created some stuff while I was away. So yeah, then I have to re-import some stuff. Yeah, okay, so there it is. Did I push the right button? Yeah, okay, so so this is the game my son Roan is working on, and one of the things he just he needed was okay. Well, let's start at the beginning. Well, Roan is my son at 10 years old. He really loves monsters. Is monsters the right English word? In Dutch it's like monsters, but it's like in English more like creatures, like yeah. Well, he really loves like these creating like these things. Well, these are specifically these are from an asset pack he found online that's just free to use. But he then set on to create his own monsters in the same like pixel art style, and added a lot to it. many things. Oh, yeah. Okay, so the camera's in the right place. Let's see. Well, these. Yeah, you can see he created like a lot of additional things to it. It's just really cool. Okay, so but that's what he really likes to do. He thinks about monsters. Play with like if he is at school with his friends, they often play games with monsters involved that have to fight each other or do things to help each other, whatever. He likes to imitate them or just draw them. So I created. I helped him create a game with these fantasies of him. So he can just play them out in real and like make a strength out of his ability to think about monsters. I was like, well, a lot of games need really good monster designs, and a lot of players love it when there are some good monster designs or boss designs. So if my son loves to create these monsters, and he really likes to think about like all these monsters and the moves, the sets they have, and like these sequences that you have to go through when the boss like gets more difficult, if you remove more health from him. He really likes to think about these things. And then I was like, well, let's just make a game. Let's see how far we can get with that. So that's what this whole game is about. It's his first experience into designing a game. And like I said, we use a default tile set, and he just sat on and started to change like all kind of things. For me, I'm more like the facilitating guy in this. He has like all the ideas and the things he wants to do, and I'm like just giving like little nuggets of like, or the script you can use to do this, or here I'll use this tool, and then this kind of work you're doing currently a bit the hard way, you can do it like the easy way if you do it like this. And then it's like he just goes with it. I really like that. For me, it's the emphasis is on facilitating him in creating a fantasy world, and that's what I also did. And let's see what I want to show you in this game. Well, he's using Sprite for drawing the 2D creatures and creating animations. Well, the animations can be exported easily to Unity, but well, he can make sure the animation works in Sprite, and then I can make something in Unity that he is possible to then export it in and then recreate the same animation without too much additional effort. So like I said, he does a lot of the think about the story, the level design, and making of the items based on the scripts I make ready for him. And he does all the art, all the pixel art. I tell him a bit about the possibilities, where you have to pay attention to. My kids are walking around here, playing with friends. I hope you don't hear this like very loud. I hear like very loud in my ear. But okay, I just help him with like a bit of game design things. Like if you do it this way, it probably is more easy for people to understand. But I'm really just not trying to force him in one direction. If he thinks, I have to leave some learnings in it for him. So I think the first he wants to release his game on Steam, and I do think that's probably going to give him some feedback on some things that are working, some things that aren't working. And then I'm going to help him digest the feedback from people and pick the nuggets out of it that are like useful to do something with, and things you have to just discard because people. And then improve his game on, because that's also a very important part of creating games, is that you have to understand what's of valuable feedback and what's just things that you just, like I said, people are people, and just they say sometimes certain things. So one of the things I used here, did here is like here you can see like this item. It's on the floor. Let me just first show you a bit about the game, and I can show a bit more of what I do with my tooling. So let's play. And I'm going to enter in this hero. Okay, the hero picked up the sword. So, and we have like all these things here. Yeah, this level is a bit easy. This one is also a bit less. Oh, well, he hasn't added animations to that one yet. Okay, and the door isn't... I have to add a script to it so that the door can open. We can even move to here. Yeah, so then we... Oh, yeah, so also these monsters don't have... Yeah, so there is a lot more to this game. Oh, so there are a few things here. In here that we have to fix. But like I said, this game is just like very early in its stages of development. But what things I do is like I have like this most of the things here are in Dutch because he is Dutch and it's more easy for him to understand that he's already at like his English is already at the level that he's talking like me, like, oh Dad, please don't make this like Dutch because I can understand English. I'm like, well, it's okay if it's like this mixture of English and Dutch. So what he can do is just add an item to here that he created. And then then he has to push this button, and like you see, it just updates it and makes sure it's like properly wired up. So these items in here, there are many of them. I just told him I just gave him like 1 or 2 items, and he is like, he copied like all over the place and made a lot of them and just started just poof. I'm like, okay, well, if it's that easy. So, well, one of the things I also do is like, here you can see it's like the same idea that I use on other places. It's like this enum you can use to switch with like certain things you display. So this is like an easy way to if you have like kind of multi-purpose scripts, to make it easier to have like a weapon. If I want like to use this a bit of generic system like an item, but there are like so many different item types, and there are like different fields are relevant for different items. So you could create like I know there are other ways to do this with classes and things like that, but this is a much more easy way to understand and to maintain if the game is still small. So I just created this thing, and it's a bit like the same thing you remember from my script on that window, that just you can use a switch, and then in the switch case you can show the different options. So let me move over to that one. So here you can see this switch again with all items. All items have this, and food has this one, weapon has this one, and tool has this one. So these are like the fields that are, well, with all the items. And the funny thing is just if you give a kid like a very small thing, he's just like, he uses his imagination to fix things, and he's also like doing all the stuff with it than you expected him to do. But it's really encouraging for me to see, well, if I provide someone the tools, he can just multiply. Well, I probably created like in 1 hour a tool like that, or maybe 2 hours. And he's like days and days of work of creating tools and weapons and like different... well, you go from wood to what kind of things he did have? Sorry, from citrine, wood, gold, iron, ruby, sandstone. He has like all these weapon types that increment in like complexity to create and weapon damage that they have. I'm like, well, okay, well, yeah, it indeed. If I just supply you one thing, he can create a whole world with it, and that's well, that's an empowering thing. So those are like the 2 things I wanted to show about his game. I'm probably gonna use his game as an example more, because, like I said, it's very easy to well, I have to facilitate him, and that encouraged me to create like tools that help him on his, well, don't narrow his options down on what he wants to create. So I have to think a lot about because I'm also like his dad. He isn't like just a senior level designer that knows all the options that are available, because I have to watch out that I'm limiting his like mental space, like his artistic abilities too much with just funneling down down one lane. So I have to really pay attention on what I provide as tools and as guidance to him, so that he is able to be like to really use his imagination, but at the same time he doesn't know what to do. So I do have to give him some guidance on what to do. So this interaction is very interesting for me to see and to experience and learn from for myself on what are even things I personally probably would need in my own game if I do like this back and forth with him. So that's a very interesting thing, and you will probably hear more about this. So that was it for this time. Come over. Oh, don't shuffle my screen around. Don't come over on my Discord. I have my Game Feelings Discord. I talk about my game development and also about the games itself, like Find the Gnome, or I don't have a channel yet for Roan, but if you would like it, I can create a channel for him. It's like I'm his dad, and I have to be sure it's like appropriate stuff that, well, you know, a child, and I can force him to do things. I don't want to force him to do things, but also like I want to protect him from like a bit of the rough edges of the world, let's put it this way. So yeah, but well, if there is like he really wants to create this game, so I'm probably going to like show you a bit more about his game, so he can get this feedback about his game. But also, like, my game is over there on the Discord. If you want to follow me, I have my blog over on gamefeelings.com/blog. But just go to gamefeelings.com, and there I write a blog every 4 weeks about my game development experiences. I have like I think I've wrote about like 50, 60 of them, and other articles about game development and my thoughts about them. And you can follow like a journey in it. It's like a bit unrefined, like 4 or 5 years ago, and it's getting more refined. Like the more I doing my game development things. I do my game development besides my software development. So I have I do software development from like when I was 11 or 12 years old, and I'm doing professional now for like 12 years. But my game development I started like 4 or 5 years ago. So this game development thing is a bit in moving thing for me to learn about things. And you can follow me on my blog on this, and also in the talks like this, in the show off of things I do. I really would like it if you leave something behind on this video. Just a thumb up, or follow me, or just write a comment. Share your experiences. See you next time. Thank you.